What is up, mortals? Alex here. Today, I have another deck profile for you guys. And today is on a deck that I've been working for the past month or so. As you can see, it's Cyber Dragons. I think I'm going to move this down here. It's Cyber Dragons. The deck recently got some support, and it will be getting more support in about a month. So I figured that I would pick it up again and play with it, just because I haven't played with this deck in so long. And a lot of the cards are pretty cool, so I decided, hey, what the heck. I'm going to try it up and see. I might be taking this to the 200 YCS, just because I wanted to play something fun again, nothing meta. I will be explaining a few of my card choices, just because in the previous video, people were a little upset that I wasn't doing a deck profile. You have to understand that those videos are not deck profiles. They're just meant to explain a few of the cards that people play in decks. But let's start with the original, the one and only Cyber Dragon. I feel like you have to play 3 of this guy. Sorry for that glare. Let's find a better spot. So you have to play 3 Cyber Dragons, the original. There's a lot of plays that require you to play 3. Not gonna lie, there have been some times which I wish I've only played 2. Just because it's it's highly searchable, and you only really need to resolve 1 machine dupe. But there are some plays where you need the third one in the deck, because you can shuffle the second one. I mean, the one of the ones you special summon with machine dupe back in the deck, and special summon 2 more. Also, remember the machine duplication is not once per turn, so you can bring all 3 out if you have 2 of those in hand. So 3 Cyber Dragons. Again, I feel like you have to play 3. For the most important monster of the deck, besides Cyber Dragon, it's Core. Core is the heart and soul, as its name, Core. He usually gets you everything going. If you top deck him when you're losing, he usually gets you a game, since we have a lot of the new spell cards and traps that allow you to, basically allow you more versatility and bit better options when you're searching. He's really, really solid. Being the primary machine dupe target, it's hard to pass. Graveyard effect is amazing. Everything about the card is great. If it was a level 1, I would be playing machine 1-for-1, but I'm not. For the new guy, he definitely made the deck as well. He makes the deck a lot better than what it was, mainly because nowadays, if you're not OTKing your opponent, you will want to have a Cyber Dragon Core in your hand ASAP. Basically, you want a normal summon Core every turn to keep getting that 1+1 or 2. So, Cyber Dragon Hertz has a very unique effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, it lets you add a Cyber Dragon from graveyard or deck. And remember that Core is a Cyber Dragon in graveyard, so you can add it back. Also, if it's special summon, you can make its level become 5, but you can only summon machines for the rest of the turn, which doesn't really matter. A lot of the times you will be only summoning machines. 3 of this guy. He's another machine dupe target. Really, really solid. And for the last of the new guys, I'm playing Veer. I think it's Fear with an F. This guy doesn't really do anything. He just comes out to the board, and he's another body for link summoning. But that's why I have him here, because there are some places where you have either of these 2 guys, both of these guys or any of the other guys, then you can link away, and then you can overload your opponent for a lot of damage. So I feel like it's necessary to play at least 1. But I like being able to summon Zeger first turn. So he's really good. Plus, he makes your Cyber Dragons 2600 beaters. It's not that bad. And for the last Cyber Dragon in the main deck, I'm playing Dry. He's here because he has a cool interaction with Cyber Network, which you all know. But he's another normal summon monster, a normal summonable that matters. His attack being 18, it's actually kind of relevant. Sometimes you're going to have these 2 or nothing else, and you can make a Nova out of that and an Infinity afterwards. So just a one-off. I was trying 2 for a long time, but I feel the 1 is all you need. Oops. 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. For the rest of the support, I am doing 2 Galaxy Soldiers. Galaxy Soldier is, in theory, it's a Cyber Dragon card, because it does so much for the deck. Being a level 5 light machine complements the deck very well. And it's also highly searchable in the deck, because we have Cyber Repair Plant that searches a light machine. So it's actually really clutch And I'm only doing 2 because I hate drawing 2 in my opening hand. It's just not good. It's super, again, like I said, highly searchable and easy to like get to anytime you want. So just the 2. For the last machine, I'm playing 1 Kaiju, a Jizukiro. Again, highly searchable. If you give it to your opponent, you can contact fuse one of your guys. But he's just an answer to a problem that it's searchable through core. So that's for the monsters. And for the last 3 cards in the main monsters, I'm playing 3 Ash and no other hand trap. Mainly because you don't really care what your opponent summons. Yes, if they set up something that you can't really break through, then we have the Jizukiro to do that. But the Ash will ensure that we don't really get blown away or blown out by going first decks. So I still decided to keep those 3. For the spells, I'm playing a lot of spells because the deck it's a lot about consistency. And the first one is 3 Cyber Emergency. This card just made the deck even more playable. I honestly do not know how the deck played before without this card, because this card is so good. Having access to Cyber Dragon Core is just so important, and I'm really happy that this card is out. For the last of the consistency, Cyber Consistency, I'm playing 2 Cyber Repair Plant. You rarely ever get to resolve the second one, but you still want it in deck, mainly because I am playing Pot of Desires. But there are some grindy games where you're going to need to shuffle a machine back in the deck so you can summon it again. Mainly a Cyber Dragon Infinity, or sometimes you want to summon a 3rd Cyber Dragon Nova. So the second one is actually kind of clutch. And this is what I mean by the machine dupe. If you machine duped a Cyber Dragon and then you have 3 in graveyard, you can shuffle one of them and then machine dupe again for 2. So it just adds a lot of more power and consistency. So I feel that 2 is good for now. For the other new card, 3 Cyber Rep System. This card is actually insane. Not being once per turn and providing protection to your Cyber Dragon is so hard to pass. I was doing 2 for the longest time, but there are some times where you need to open with a Revival of any sort, and this is the one that I decided to max out. I am still playing Monster Reborn, but no Soul Charge. I just feel like being searchable and not once per turn and providing protection is hard to pass, so 3 of those. For the most absurd card on the deck, Machine Dupe. This card is still legal, therefore I'm going to play it. It's a 3. It's not once per turn. It generates a lot of advantage, and it combos off with a lot of the cards in the deck to produce OTKs just from 1 card. And if you open 2, and you probably win the game. Honestly, if you open 1, you are probably going to win the game. So 3 of those. For the fusion spells, I'm doing 2 Power Bond and 2 Overload, but I'll talk about the Power Bonds first. I've yet to resolve this card in an actual duel, but it's here because there are some times where you need to summon a big fusion monster to plow through your opponent's board, and summoning a 8,000 attack Cyber End Dragon on a board of Scapegoats, you're probably going to win that game. So I figure that Power Bond 2 is correct, and so is Overload Fusion. Sometimes you're going to need to open a fusion spell, and if you only play 3, like some deck lists out there, some deck lists play 2, which is strange, just 2. And yes, you can get away with that, but there are some grindy games, especially when your opponent's playing a lot of big monsters, that you're going to need a fusion spell, and a fusion spell that does a lot of damage. And these 2, I guess, these 2 are the ones that I went with. In my last video, I had cybernetic support, fusion support, but that card is just not very good. It never did anything. It just kept clogging in my hand, and like I said, I have not resolved this card yet, so I only play that for this. So let's just not worry about that for now. 1 instant fusion, because we only had 1 target in the extra deck, and we also don't really need it to do any other plays. It's just nice sometimes having an extra material to seize, fuse, or link with it. So just a 1. 1 limiter removal, because this card is still at 1. Honestly, I feel that this card should be banned, and not because any machine decks are topping left and right. It's just this card just steal games on its own. It's definitely not correct to be in the game. So 1 of those. 1 Monster Reborn, because I'm allowed to play it. I decided to play 4 Reborns or Revival spells, because sometimes you need to open with the 1. Foolish Burial, because it sets up a lot of your deck. If you open with Foolish and Cyber Repair Plan, then it's live. Foolish and a Reborn, Foolish and a Foolish Reborn and the next Scar in front of Reckless Summon. You can do so many derpy plays. This is the tech that I've been playing ever since the support got announced. Just because it creates so many OTKs and like big plays in front of Reckless Summons, guys. Just try it out. It's actually insane. I might play the second one mainly because I'm doing a lot of Reborn cards. So those for the last one of Pot of Desires, not more than one. The deck doesn't really need the draw power, but I still want to have the one in the deck just in case my hand is locked, and Pot of Desires will get me there. I was playing Iron Draw before a few days ago, but Iron Draw was not working out, so just the one Desires. And for the last two spells, two Call by the Grave. The third one's in a side deck. This card, it's actually needed, and I hate to say that because this card is like so dumb. I feel this is like the most unhealthy card in the format right now. It just stops everything. Coming from a Goki player, I'm telling you guys, this card is dumb. That's it for the spell cards. That's a shit ton of spells. And for the trap cards, not that many. 2 Infinite Impermanence, mainly because it helps us go second, and you always want to go second. And it also is really good going first. You can set it and serves as a breakthrough skill, and it can potentially lock a spell that your opponent has. So if your opponent are not playing around this card, they're going to lose. Really good card. 2 of those. Also, it cannot get Called by the Grave. That's why it's here. This could have been Effect Veiler or Ghost Ogres, being light for Galaxy Soldier. But those 2 cards get Called by the Grave, and this doesn't. So one of those. Cyber Network, older card. It really doesn't do anything when you draw it early game. But if you have a few of the combo pieces that you need, mainly a Overload Fusion, this card, it becomes absurd. And I'm sure that you guys have seen a lot of the combos that this card it's involved with. So one of those, because it's in theory, it's a return from different dimension for machines. So one of those. And for the last card in the deck, one Cybernetic Overflow, say Fire Lake. This card is just, it's so good. Early game, mid, late game, this card is just absurd. Big fan of that card. Happy that Cyber Dragons got something like this. And with the new Fusion spell card, that card becomes even better. That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I'm only doing 2 Cyber Dragon Novas. Because you don't really need the third. And remember, you can shuffle one of them. And 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity. Because there has been a few times where I needed the second Infinity. And it's like right here. But I'm still trying out the 1 Infinity. Because the amount of times that I need the second one are not don't justify me playing a second one. So 2 and 1 for now. 1 Pleiades for the last Xyz. When you have Pleiades, Seeger, and Infinity, it's usually game. Your opponent can't break through that. It's really tough because they're going to run over the Infinity, but they can't because Seeger, if they try to use a spell trap card to destroy fields, Infinity, and then Pleiades bounce another monster that's threatening. So, just 3 Xyz. For the fusions, I decided to go with 2 Rampage. Rampage is, technically speaking, is the best one because he does a lot of damage to your opponent's board. Blows their back row, can attack multiple times, and it sets up your graveyard and hand. So good. I've been thinking about playing 1 when Cyber Dragon Eternity comes out. So for now, I'm just keeping 2. Chimera Tech Over Dragon or Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. If your opponent's playing machines or you need to have a big beater with all your machines, you just make this guy and attack. This is the reason why Cyber Dragons or machine decks can't ever be tier 1, by the way. Its own answer, it's their own demise. 1 Chimera Fleet Dragon. This card is new, as you all know, and it's really good. It helps you break the extra link. So that's another thing that why I decided to play this deck again, and mainly for the 200 YCS. If Gokis don't get hit, I will be abusing this a lot, mainly because it just eats the monsters in the extra link and becomes bigger. So I really like that card. 1 for now. I was trying 2, but I decided that 1 was enough for now. For the fusions, and the main reason why I play the deck, Cyber Twin Dragon and Cyber End Dragon. These guys are, again, the reason why I picked up the deck. Big fan of these cards. I have always loved these cards in the show and actual cards, and I'm glad that I get to play them. Some people don't play Cyber Twin because we have Rampage, but I still want to have the option of having a 5600 double swinger. 5600 attacker that double swings at your opponent. So good. And this guy just plows through tokens. So if they go scapegoats and you power bomb this guy, they're gonna be really sad because you're just gonna attack per game. One Panzer Dragon for the instant fusion target. It's a light machine. Enough to say about that. And for the last cards, I am playing 2 Cyber Dragon Seeger because it's a new guy. This card is super annoying. I really didn't think it did enough, much or enough at all. But the more I play the deck, the more this card, just it overperforms. It's so strong. It does so much for the deck. I wish the pointers were like left and right. I mean, like diagonally left and right. It would have been so good. But I'm fine with it. Glad we got it. Summon Sorceress because she's nuts. She does a lot of derpy plays in the deck, and I'm actually glad that we get to play with this card because it's becoming one of my favorite cards. Summon Sorceress, guys. So good. And for the last card in the extra deck, 1 Griffin. Griffin, it's actually kind of weird because there's only a few plays that can summon it, but when you summon it, you have Seeger, Infinity, Pleiades, and Griffin on that field, and your opponent can't break that. It's so good. So I decided to keep it. Honestly, I might cut it later. Once we get the next support, I'm going to mess around with some Invoke cards. But for now, this is what I'm playing with. Such a solid deck. Sorry that I haven't posted any Cyber Dragon content. I've been busy. But here's the deck profile. I will definitely keep up with the perfecting Cyber Dragon, so stay tuned for that. Again, if you guys have any questions about the deck or other decks, post them down below and I'll answer them ASAP. And again, thank you for watching, and God fucking speed to you guys. Peace.